Hey people, this is Guygore7, and today we're going to go over the fundamentals of the Batch/CMD programming language. And today we're just going to be covering the basics of the language, just trying to get people familiar with it. Anyways, we'll start off as usual by creating a new file. And for the sake of this video, I'm just going to call it example, like I always do. And what you're going to want to do is put .bat at the end of it to show it that it's a CMD file. Then you're just going to save that. And the first thing that you're going to need to know about the batch or programming language, it's often known as both CMD and batch, so just keep that in mind. Now the first thing that you're going to want to know is the @echo off command. And what this does is it basically starts off a CMD file and tells the what it does is it tells the computer that this batch file is what's going on right now, and that this file being run on it is in fact a batch file. And well, that's some pretty cool stuff right there. The next thing you're going to want to learn is this command called echo. And when you type the word echo right there, anything you type, like, I'll just put some dummy text here, that'll pop up in a CMD window. So if we actually take a look right here in the CMD file, we're going to see that it opens up and alright. Well, so much for that. And what that will do is the echo command will take all this crazy dummy text and display it in the CMD prompt. And that's pretty cool. And just like in many other programming languages, there are variables in CMD coding, in batch files. And how you create these variables depends on the kind of variable that you're making. Like, for example, if you want to make a variable that's just something as simple as a number, you'd go with the set/a command. And something that I should mention is this command isn't case sensitive. So say for example you put it set a equals value. If you just put lowercase a, that's fine. And if you put capital A, that's also fine. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. But anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself. And what's going on here is, say you want variable A, you want to call it, I'll just call it variable. And we want to set variable to 1. And that's how you do that. And you can also do the same thing with, yeah, that's pretty much it for variables. Now, say instead you wanted to create a variable that was created by whatever the user types into the command prompt. To do that, you would do set/p, name of the variable, equal to blank, And what that does is it sets up a sort of input area where whatever you type into it is what creates that value. And so that's pretty much it for variables right there. And something else that you're going to want to know about is alright. And the next thing we're going to know about this is the goto command. And what this does is, say that you did something like say that you just have a normal batch file with a bunch of different commands. It's mostly just normal, but alright, so say that you just have your normal batch file, and you want all these commands to happen. But say that you wanted them to happen more than once. Well, or you wanted a specific time where you could execute that code. Well, you can do a block of code with a certain tag by starting off with a colon and some kind of name. And I'm just going to put this as code because it's pretty obvious. And what the goto command does is you put goto and then you put the label of the block of code that you want to run up next to the goto command. And so whenever this is run, this code is also run along with it. And this is pretty great for things like, if statements in batch, which we'll go into later, along with that's pretty much it for goto codes, but very important stuff, really important stuff that you gotta know. So anyways, that's pretty much it for running blocks of code. And at this point, I think it's about time that we get into if statements. And this is especially handy for handling variables or certain situations. Or user input. So say we set a variable where the input of a user determines the outcome of something. So say if the user put in the number. Alright, so say that the user put in the number. And how we do if statements is we put the word if, then %signs, and put the variable in between them. And if input equals a certain value, then we go ahead and if input equals 1 per se, then we can do something off to the side here like go to code, and we can run some code down here. Okay, and you can do similar things like you can also set up other variables along with it. And you can basically do anything with if statements by putting something next to an if statement if something is true. And this is pretty much all really basic stuff that's common in all programming languages. But the last thing that I want to cover in this video is the clear screen command. That's abbreviated CLS. And what this does is, if there's a bunch of text on the prompt screen and, it just looks really bad, you just really want to clean it up after running certain commands, then you can run this to clear the screen, display new text, and it's just going to look so much nicer. I know that this video isn't the most in-depth one. It's definitely not that in-depth, and it mostly just covers the bare minimum of what you need to know for the batch programming language, but for what it's worth, I was helpful. To you all. Anyways, that pretty much covers the video for today. Anyways, that's pretty much it for right now. And all I want to say is, I hope you have a wonderful day, and if you're really feeling it, like, comment, maybe even subscribe if you're and all I'm going to ask of you is like, share, and if you're really feeling it, maybe even subscribe. This Caligore 7 signing off.